We liken what we do with CPR in school to CPR in the medical region. It is an urgent process. We have a real sense of urgency when we see someone who has a heart attack or a stroke. And it's highly directive. We don't say to them, hey, would you like some CPR? You know, if we see somebody that's in that situation, it's directive. It's not a choice. It's not an invitation. And it has to be done in a timely fashion or the oxygen-deprived brain suffers permanent damage. So timeliness is very important. It's highly targeted. We're trained as professionals exactly on how to do CPR. So we see a lot of parallels between these two. And this first characteristic, as it applies to schools, is I'd like you to think about this just a little bit. What is your sense of urgency at your school? You know, another story from that elementary school where I was principal, a fourth grade girl fell backwards off of a playground apparatus one day, and she hit the back of her neck on a railroad tie that was holding sand in the sandbox. This is before we knew how to make, safe playground equipment. And I was terrified. I was called down there as principal. She was lying flat on her back. We called the paramedics. Our first aid team went into action. We had planned for this, trained for this. And thank goodness she was not permanently hurt. She was not paralyzed. She didn't break her neck. She just bruised it. But about a month later in one of our leadership team meetings, one of our sixth grade teachers said this. He said, you know, at this school, Austin, we take it so incredibly seriously when a child gets hurt. He said, I have children, Cornell has children, we all have students in our classroom who are not learning. They are being permanently hurt. Why don't we have the same sense of urgency about the fact that they're not learning as we do when they get hurt? And that led to a very good conversation on our faculty. You see, what I would say to you is, unfortunately, a lot of the schools that I work with today, because of the pressures of accountability, feel like their sense of urgency is, we got to get the scores up, or we got to get out of program improvement, or the state's going to take over our school. It's not about children, it's about human beings. It should be about those children. If it were your child, you'd want the same thing, a sense of urgency about them.